Hi, I'm Tom Sommers with Coldwell Banker Burnett, and welcome back to my continuing series on home buyers and information. Today I want to talk about FHA versus conventional. If you're thinking about purchasing a foreclosure, there are some things you want to know about, and one of them is the type of offer you're going to write. The reason that the banks typically prefer a conventional loan over an FHA is because of contingencies. Now there's a couple of different contingencies. Number one is the appraisal process, which is probably the biggest. The appraisal process for FHA is different than for conventional, even though it can be the exact same appraiser doing both. With a conventional appraisal, they typically just go in and say, okay, we need to determine that the price of this home that the buyer is going to pay is reasonable so the bank can loan the money to you. With an FHA appraiser, they do the same thing, but they also will go through a list of guidelines that have to be checked off for the appraisal because it's a government loan. And that's where things can get kind of sticky. The problem becomes the fact that they're looking for certain things that the conventional appraiser is not looking for. And it's typical minor things, but it can be a problem for the bank. So one of the most common would be a cracked window or chipping paint. All homes that were built before 1978 have some amount of lead-based paint, or more than likely have lead-based paint. So because that's a hazard concern for people if you consume too much lead, the government views it as an issue. So therefore what they say is that if there's chipping paint, we want that paint repaired before we will loan the money. Most banks don't want to do anything. They just literally want to sell the house. They don't want to invest any money into it. They don't want to do any repairs of any type of windows or doors or siding or asphalt removal or asbestos removal or painting, anything. So when you're up against somebody who's a conventional buyer, more than likely, even if your offers are very close to the same or yours might be a little bit better, they will typically choose a conventional because the bank's wisdom or their viewpoint is that it's just going to be less of a hassle. So there's nothing wrong with using an FHA loan, but you need to know that type of thing going in, especially if you're looking at a foreclosure. So before you do that, make sure you sit down with your real estate agent and have this conversation, as well as talking with your loan officer. If you're in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I would love to help you. I work the entire metro area. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next week.